to my channel. I'm Lindy, aka Paleobarbie. I just got back from working out and it's time to make the cornbread dressing for Thanksgiving. So I'm making a keto version of my mom's cornbread dressing, and yeah, I'm going to show you the best I can how to do it. It's kind of a learning curve of, you know, going from the regular cornbread dressing to keto cornbread dressing. It's very similar, just different breads, right? All right, so let's get started so I can show you how to make it. Guys, for the first part of this recipe, you're going to need about 5 or 6 stalks of celery and an onion, and we're going to chop these up. We want to make sure that we use the ends. These are great seasoning for recipes, so don't throw those ends away, but you do want to make sure you wash thoroughly. And then we'll chop all this up. We're going to get it into a pan and let it start simmering in butter. So that is our first step in our keto cornbread dressing. Now they're going into a pan with some melted butter. In the pan, a little pink salt, a little pepper. We're just going to let these cook down until they're translucent, and then I'll show you the next step for this process. All right, cooking down. Meanwhile, while that's cooking, I have toasted in the toaster some of the Julian Bakery coconut flour bread, which is like 1 net carb per slice. I cannot have all those low carb breads that are out there. This is the ones that are only nut flours I can't have wheat or gluten. So if you can have low carb breads, like the smart buns or things like that, you can use those instead. But this is what I'm using because of my issues. So I'm going to go ahead and cube these up. I'm going to coat them with a little bit of herb melted butter. Say the words, Lindy, say the words. And I'm going to put them under the broiler for just a minute to toast them up into some croutons to use in the stuffing, or dressing as we call it here in the South. Some people call it stuffing, some people call it dressing. Tell me down in the comments what you call it, and I will get these done and show you what they look like. They're all cubed up, and now I'm going to go melt the butter and add some spices to the butter. I'm probably going to add my salad seasoning, which is parsley, onion, garlic, and then maybe a little bit of poultry seasoning, and throw that in there with it too. I melted a couple tablespoons of butter, and I put the salad seasoning, like I said, is parsley, garlic, and onion, I believe. And then I put a little poultry seasoning in there. I'm just going to toss this on this, and just use my hands to mix it together thoroughly. And then I'm going to stick it under the broiler on low, mainly because I don't want to forget about it. So I'm just trying to dry them out and toast them up just a little bit more. I already toasted them once in the toaster, so I think that'll be plenty to get them going enough for the dressing. I drizzled it on there. I'm just going to toss them together with my hands now. All tossed together with the butter. Now I'm going to stick them in the broiler. All right, those veggies are looking pretty good. Not quite where I want them yet, but almost. I went ahead and added about a teaspoon of poultry seasoning to this as they're cooking. And we're going to let these cook down, and I'm just going to put them aside, and we are going to add some more stuff to them in a few minutes. But right now, I'm going to go make some keto cornbread. All right, guys, these are the players in the cornbread game. We have almond flour, baking soda, 5 eggs, flaxseed, golden flaxseed if you can find it. I couldn't find it, so maybe Amazon has it, but this is an apple cider vinegar and salt. This is the same recipe that I use when I make my game day chili from Elena's Pantry. I'll link this recipe down below. It's also linked down below with my game day chili video. Anyways, I'm going to get all this going so we can have some cornbread for our dressing. Now the cornbread is out of the oven. I'm just going to let this cool while I get the biscuits in there. Alright guys, the biscuits are done. I've got my celery and onions heating. I'm heating it back up and putting some more butter in here. While all this was baking, I went ahead and pulled some chicken off of rotisserie chicken that I need to use up. So this is about 1.5 cups, 2 cups of rotisserie chicken. You can hear my dog barking her head off outside. And I'm going to use that to go in here. We are going to create our own, so my mom in her dressing has always put cream of chicken or cream of celery soup in there. And most of those canned soups have a lot of junk in them. Keto Chow has their own, which is pretty good. cream of chicken soup. And there's probably some others out there. Maybe Kettle and Fire might have one, I'm not sure. But I just make my own cream and sort of a roux. So we're going to let this heat up and I'll show you how I'm going to do that. Okay guys, this is about 3 tablespoons of butter, or almond flour in butter. And I'm just going to brown this a little bit, and then we're going to add in some heavy whipping cream and some broth. And this almond flour is going to help thicken this up. You want to make sure your skillet is hot. Alright, we're going in with some cream and some broth. About a half cup of each. We're going to get this simmering and get it thickened up. I'm going to add some salt and some pepper to this also. Alright, that's coming to a boil and it's starting to thicken up. I'm going to go ahead and add in this chicken. Mix that in. Alright, it's good and thick. Alright, we're going to start assembling our dressing. In this pan so far I've got the croutons that I made earlier, and I've crumbled up about half of my biscuits in here, and now I'm going to start crumbling in some cornbread. Alright, the cornbread is in, all of the breading is in there. We're going to start adding our seasonings and our cream of chicken soup mixture over there, and then if we need to, we will add a little more broth. Okay, so we've got a good helping of poultry seasoning, sage. I put a little bit of thyme, pepper, and of course salt all over the top of it. We're going to put in our soup mixture, mix it together, and we'll probably add a little more poultry seasoning and sage on top. Everybody's in the hot tub, time to mix it up. All mixed in, I am going to add some more broth just to give it a little more wetness. So I'm going to eyeball this, you guys. This recipe is kind of hard to measure because this is a kind of recipe that you just taste as you go and see what works. And so since this is just how our family does it, I'm going to try my best to come up with a typed up recipe, but it's going to be, you know, an estimate of amounts. So you're going to have to probably add a little more of this, a little more of that as you taste and as you stir. So I'm going to go ahead and stir this up again. Guys, you're going to use quite a bit of this chicken broth or stock. You want it to be really moist. You see how, don't know if you can see how moist that is, so that you can just kind of spread it evenly. Now we're going to top it with some more poultry seasoning and sage and stick it in the oven at 350 until it gets golden brown. I think I have the seasoning amount that I want, so basically I just taste stir as I'm putting seasoning, because you know the right amount. You know it's just perfect when you taste it. You'll know it. So I am putting this in the oven now. This is the finished dressing. It looks delicious. It smells delicious. I can't wait to eat some. Yummo. Hey guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this recipe. Please let me know down below if you make it in the comments. Also, thanks for watching. Please subscribe and hit the bell down below if you haven't already, and like this video. Thanks so much, you guys. Have a happy Thanksgiving.